Which direction do I go?
Woo! That way.
This way.
That direction. Here we are. It is another Sunday.
Yet another Sunday.
My
Yet
pants are
another
falling down.
Sunday.
Pardon me.
As anyone watching this may tell, I am warm, but these two are freezing. So
Cold as balls.
it doesn't feel cold to me. I could probably walk out without a jacket right now.
Mm-hmm.
My child is making me a heater.
The cat is also having zoomies and climbing the wall over there. You can hear him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just moving it so the fish tank. The light from the fish tank is super bright. Okay.
There we go.
Don't. Now my face.
We'll get it figured out, you know?
Yeah.
One day
Over
we'll...
just a tad. A wee bit.
Well, no, my face. Hey.
I'm just in the back.
You gotta figure it
You
out.
can be wherever you want.
I kind of like the back. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird.
Oh, pardon me. I just can't get comfortable today. Can I borrow a part?
Yes. That's why that's there.
Oh, there you go. More cat zoomers.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Hello.
Okay.
I just like how he goes sideways to kick it.
I know. He's a weirdo.
All right.
Well,
Parent story of the week.
Mm. I'm going to save mine because it correlates with today's topic.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I
Okay.
remember.
So you will hear my parent story, but it'll be later on.
Ah,
Yes.
I'm trying to think.
Mine is that the other
You're
night.
a heater.
Well, I mean
You're a
that I'm a
heater.
heater. I mean that does apply. But mine would be that I was laying on the couch the other day, and we could feel her head
Ooh.
poking from the side of my tummy. So like we could actually tell that it was like her head, because it was like, we're like, this is the only part of her body that's large and round enough to fit that.
Yeah.
So it's got to be her head.
Sorry
be
in
her
advance
booty.
about the crinkle.
Oh yes. Not sponsored by Girl Scout cookies, but I got Girl Scout cookies and I brought them for the group. These are their new kind. One of the newer kinds, I guess. I don't know. I haven't had Girl Scout cookies in a while.
Welcome. We have cookies.
Only gonna
Welcome to the mom side. we
Hello,
have
hello.
cookies.
Hello.
Oh.
My name's
Amy.
Hi. I don't know who you are, but thank you for responding.
Dylan's one of my gaming friends. He was at my wedding.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
My parenting story.
Yes.
I believe it was Tuesday. And as you know, Kachan being Kachan. I don't know if it could have gotten worse,
Oh no.
but it did.
Oh no.
I don't know how a 4-year-old could even possibly be this way.
Not Amy.
Obscene gesture. Anyway. I don't know how a 4-year-old could be this way, but Tuesday, as you know, Kachan has his own bright personality. The kid has ADHD, potentially autism, all these things. And we're doing great. I'm very tired. I asked him to get dressed, which has been a struggle. Like, everything's been a struggle. And I said, you need to get dressed right now. You know what he said? You don't talk that way to me, Mommy.
Whoa.
Oh
Snap.
no.
Oh, man.
Kid got sass.
The sass
The
levels.
amount of sass that came out of him. And I had already put up with, like, most of the sass, but that was my straw. Tyler took over, and the kid didn't apologize. Tried 5 different times, but he refused to apologize.
Oh no.
Yep. Refused.
Mm.
So, that was what I've been dealing with for most of this week, actually. Just, I don't know. I understand toddlers. I understand it's their age. I really do. Yes, that's why that's his nickname. That is exactly why. But I never expected to raise a 4-year-old teenager.
Yeah.
I really, like, there's one thing that it's, like, normal toddler, like, angst and sass, but this was just, like, out of, like, nowhere, and I was just, like, done. Just tap out. I'm done. Thank you very much.
I got sass from my kid this week, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I didn't know he knew the word no.
Mm.
And he was laying in his bed and yelling. And so then I talked on the camera and I'm like, hey, buddy. And he goes, no. Da. And I'm like, oh. Sorry, I'm not dad. I was like, did you lose your pacifier? Do you need me to bring you milk? And he's like, no. Da. And I'm like, fine.
All right.
Guess you know no now.
I think that's Kachan's favorite word.
Oh,
No.
It's a new one for us.
I hope that
Mine
Naruto-
doesn't have a favorite word yet. I can't
I
add
hope
to it.
Your kid's
Naruto-
favorite word is lungs and bladder.
Not lungs.
Not lungs, just bladder.
She tends to stay low.
Okay. No.
So she really doesn't come that high. I feel like she might stay low for a while.
Oh, she should start be getting lower.
Boom.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think she's gonna come up higher.
Probably not.
At
I mean,
least
it
at this
depends, I
point.
guess, upon how much, like, space she ends up ultimately taking up, That's one of the things. But so far, it's pretty much still, okay,
Bladder
let me...
and colon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's hit me in the ligament recently. That was fun.
that would be
That
fun.
was just like, bam. And I was like, okay, listen, ma'am, I'm going to need you to not. So I was like, my ligaments are already hurting. Stop.
Let's not make this worse.
Yeah. So
It's always funny when they punch you in the butthole. That hurts so much.
she
and it's a
doesn't
thing.
hit the butthole. She just hits the colon.
You're lucky.
I'm so lucky. Mine hit me right in the butt.
It's really alarming. You're not expecting it. You're like,
what the?
I mean, she probably will get to. She's figured
Yeah.
out enough where the colon is that I think she'll figure out where the butthole is eventually.
Probably.
And she'll just smack me there. But
It's a very sharp pain.
yeah. So I mean, it's just I'm also waiting for the cervix hits,
yeah.
because I feel like those
Just wait.
will
It's
happen.
always gonna happen when you're at work.
Yeah.
I
Always
didn't know
when
if
you're
those
at
were
work.
just like painful or just uncomfortable.
I don't know, but either way, it's very startily, especially
It
when you're
is,
sitting
yeah.
there at work working on paperwork and you're like, oh.
It feels like
Yeah.
you suddenly have to pee. Not the bladder. Like, it definitely feels lower. And you're just like,
Well, I do remember what the sensation felt like when they had to put a catheter through, my cervix. So since I remember that sensation, I have a feeling that I'll know a little. I'll have a pretty good idea of where she's hitting when she hits there. So
I don't know.
that was not like the worst sensation when they had to do that, but like it was definitely like not the best either. It felt like a slight pinch, like in my body. Like I can't explain it other than the fact that it just feels like it's centered
it's-
in my body.
Yeah.
But down, like
it's way lower than you expected it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like this. There was like this slight pinch, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like physically, I could see them putting the catheter in, but I'm like, huh? So
happening?
I was like, I didn't know I could feel that part of me that way.
I didn't know I had nerve endings down there. Ugh.
It's just one of those things. So I don't know. It's just that was a fun experience.
You have a couple messages.
Yes, I do see that. Dylan, thank you. I am also very happy. I'm so excited to eventually meet her and everything like that. And solid on the tattoo because I really want to get more tattoos right now, but I also know that I can't. So
You can't
I
while
can.
breastfeeding either.
yeah. Well, they tell you.
I finally can.
I didn't listen to that rule though.
Yeah.
The breastfeeding
Oh.
one.
They just say that they have no way of knowing, like, I guess how, like, if the ink's gonna get into like your system and then end up in your baby, and it's like, but also like the infection potential. Plus, I just, like, I've realized in general, like, I tend to heal slower right now anyway.
I heal
so,
super
like,
fast.
But, like, while I'm pregnant, like, I tend to heal on the slower side anyway. So, like, I've gotten, like, I had a scratch on my, like, ankle that I got, and the scratch is fully healed, but there's a little scar there that I'm like, that would have probably never scarred pre-pregnancy. But because it's healing so slow, like, I can't imagine what the scarring would be like on a tattoo when you're already healing slower.
That's fair.
So, it's just, you know, it makes sense, honestly, why you can't. I just, you know, I really wish I could, because I'm like, there's days where I'm like, man, I just want to have another tattoo.
Okay. I finally can. I do not have money for it.
That is also the other thing,
I've canned for a while, and I also don't have money for it. But
if I had money, I would be definitely
Today's
getting
economy sucks.
If I had money, I would do my sleeve immediately. I've been wanting my sleeve for years now, and I have not had the funds to do it. But that's okay.
I want a tattoo from somewhere on my lower half of my body. I have like 8 tattoos from the waist up. I feel like unbalanced.
Oh, I do too. All my tattoos are on my left side. I need some balance.
I know what you mean.
I know.
Like I need a leg tattoo or something.
I got those two, and then one on my ribs, which I'm not going to show, but they're all on my left side. All of them.
Yeah,
I'm evenly
I feel naked over here.
dispersed, you know, across, but not, you know.
Right.
I definitely tried to, like, even mine out, but they don't end up being even.
No.
They never do. Because, like, I had the one on my shoulder, and then I got one on my wrist, and then I was like, okay, that's 2 on my left side. Let me go to my right. And then I did one on my right calf. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I really want my, like, I finally had the money. Like, let me do my big, like, sleeve.
Yeah.
And then that one on my right. And then they were like, oh, my mom had a tattoo artist that was coming to her house. And she's like, I can get us, like, a deal from her and everything like that. And I was like,
house?
yeah.
Nice.
So, like, this lady is a traveling tattoo artist.
How does that work?
I want that.
I mean, she just, like, she has all her machines and stuff and all that. But, like, I will say, like, in terms of level of quality, I would say it's like higher average. Like if you want like a really, really like high end, like nice tattoo like this one, like that I did, you're better off going to the place. Like she's not that she's bad or anything like that, but it's just like differences in artists too anyway. But that was when I got these on my arm. So
I designated my right arm for my anime. It's gonna be all anime. It'll probably move to my leg.
I surprisingly don't have any anime tattoos.
I don't either.
You know, me too.
I need to fix that, but
You should. I want to get the fairy tale symbol on my arm, and then the
it'll make it
symbol-
so much easier when you cosplay.
Exactly. Be like, look. I want to get Sebastian's symbol on my hand in like the dark purple color too. I think that would be cool. But I'm still poor, so
Yeah.
dreams.
Tattoos are expensive, and for good reason are they expensive, but like also, you know, I wish I could
My
afford
rib
them
tattoo
better.
was not expensive. I paid $45.
Sorry.
Suddenly, child.
She's just like yeeting her whole self at the front of my abdomen.
She's like, I really want more cookies, Mom.
Okay.
Do the cookies.
I'm down for that. I'll eat more cookies. Thank you.
Speaking of anime, what are we watching?
I like 3-day finished an anime, which is insane for me right now
Which
because
one?
I fall asleep all the time. This is why I don't get very far. I start a show and I pass out. But this one I finished in 3 days.
Proud of you. What was
My
it?
Happy Marriage.
It's so good!
I love that
Was
one. I love it. I heard that they're actually getting a season 2 supposedly this
Yes.
summer. It's been greenlit. No official release date, but based upon last release date, they're thinking around June or July.
I'm so excited for it because I loved that one. I watched that
And
one
that's
pretty.
one that's like dubbed immediately too,
Yeah.
which is going to be nice.
No, I think the only reason why I was able to finish it in 3 days was the fact that day 1, I started it during like a nap.
Yep.
And then it wasn't my night to put the kid down for bedtime because we alternate nights.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I watched some then. And then the next day I got like a couple more episodes during nap.
Nice.
And then the day after I finished it after bed. Went to bed too late because I was so close to finishing it. Almost passed out, but I didn't.
So proud of you.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching A Sign of Affection again. And it's subbed. But I think I mentioned it at the beginning, but it's where a guy who loves learning languages is now dating this girl who's deaf. And it's really, like, romantic. Like, lots of, like...
Sorry, I'm switching feet.
Lots of, like, fruits baskets, My Happy Marriage kind of vibes. Like, the same thing. And, like, they're together now, and he's learning sign language and stuff. And the best thing about this slice of life is they got together on, like, episode 3. You did not have to wait till, like, the end.
No slow burn?
No slow burn. Well, slow enough.
Slow enough, but
I didn't have to, like, agonizingly watch all, like, 10 or 12 episodes at this point for them to get together. They've already kissed and, like, held hands.
You're good, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool.
Fair enough.
Yep.
So,
What do you watch? Anything?
I binged watched the entirety of the dubbed episodes that were released for a series on Monday because I got let off of work early because it was just dead. So literally from like, you know, I don't know, like 2 p.m. until like 10 p.m. I was watching this show. You guys ready for this?
Uh-oh.
Apothecary Diaries.
I'm so proud of you! It's so good, isn't it?
But it was like only up until like episode 17 was dubbed on Crunchyroll at that point.
But
so
good.
I'm sure they probably have released another one of them dubbed, but I'm like, this is why I remembered one of the reasons why like I tend to like watching subbed more than dubbed, and part of it is just because then I don't have to wait. For the dubbed episodes to come out. It's like the episode's out, I'm ready. Like here we go, I'm watching it. But that being said, because of the videos, the TikToks you were sending me of it, like the voice actor, I was like, I have to watch this now. Like it has to happen.
It's so good.
And
I'm so happy you watched it.
I'm so in love with this one right now. I just want it to be. I want there to be more out. Because it's
so good.
It's so good, and I just really love the whole like he knows that he's into her, but she at the same time is just like oblivious and like, he's like the standard level attractive, you know, kind of like.
She still thinks he's a eunuch when he's not.
Yeah, that's also you know pretty funny too. I think that's hilarious because like you know you don't really know like.
I did it again. I popped a bubble in my lip. And it went down my face. Sorry.
But like you don't really like know at first like how he's. Like fits into everything.
Oh,
like,
I looked it up.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure what I'm guessing is probably right. I did not look it up, but
what do you think it is?
I think he's the brother to the king itself. Like he's the what is it? Why am I blanking? The uncle, because there was the. Sorry, I'm also watching another Korean drama now, and my brain's getting all confused.
Hey, it's okay. I'm watching Solo Leveling. And Delicious in Dungeon at the same time.
I won't tell you the answer.
I think it's the one the pure consort's son is who I ultimately think he is. From Kill. That's exactly what I was thinking.
But no, I'm watching those two together. At the same time, like every week I watch the new episode. In Delicious in Dungeon, you can be resurrected if you die in the dungeon. Like there's
I
people
do have Netflix now, so I can watch this.
Yeah. So like the people, if you die in a dungeon, people come and grab you, and then your body can be resurrected, right? As long as it's not been too much time or something weird. But in Solo Leveling, you cannot be resurrected.
Ooh.
But
is that like a video game?
Solo Leveling?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But so like the part that confuses me is I'll be watching both of these, you know, usually on the same night or pretty close to each other, you know, and then I'll be like, why is he so worried about dying when I'm watching Solo Leveling? I'm like,
Right.
why is he so concerned? He could just be resurrected. And I have to remind myself, no.
Not that
He
one.
can't. Not in this one. It's the other show.
Yeah.
I'm like waiting for the body people to come grab him so he can be resurrected. I'm like, no, that doesn't happen. If you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah, I needed something else to watch, and so like
Yeah.
I started watching. It's on Netflix, and I'm blanking on the title right now, but it's a Korean drama set in the Joseon dynasty, where at the same time that the Qing and the Ming dynasties are going on in China.
I'll pretend I know what you're talking about.
So
I'm
essentially,
sorry.
just it's old
old.
Korea, or like Korea, you know, like back before it even became Korea. Like, you know, they're all wearing like a lot of the traditional Korean clothing, like things like that. Like men wear those like hats that look like they're made of mesh and everything like that too, and all those. Anyway, but in that one, the male lead is the brother of the king,
That's
like
why
the
I
half
don't get
brother of
ice.
the king.
So at the end, I can just stab my bubbles.
I'll
It's
go
a
for
little less difficult then.
I just like it being cold for a while. That's why
That's
I
fair.
do.
I drink it too fast to care.
No, for me, the reason I have a hard time with like history timelines is my recent timelines are all messed up as it is. I'll be talking to Nick and he's like, no. And I'm like, but I thought this happened then. And he's like, you are so wrong. I'm like, recent timelines don't work. How am I supposed to expect
I'm forgetful as ever. I'm not going to tell you what I forgot or whatever on Friday.
I just mix it up. Like, what happened first? Was it this or this? Like, we were talking about Disney movies. And I'm like, the last good Disney movie was this. And you're like, no, this one came out afterwards. And I'm like, did it? I liked that one too. That's what I mean.
Yes.
My mental timeline is all a mess.
That's completely understandable, to be honest.
It's not on purpose.
I still tell people,
My brain just broke.
you know, like
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember something that
Mine just
happened
chooses
last
not
week.
to function. It's fine. It just chooses not to function correctly. Like today, which is why I'm very tired and very sleepy. And have like zero energy.
That's fair.
I used a lot of my energy at work.
I got to sleep in after having a beatdown of a day yesterday at work, so like
I did
I actually have some energy, and I'm kind of surprised by it, to be honest.
I had to open, so I had to be there at 6.
It's Shark Week for me, so I'm tired.
I stayed in bed until like 10, and then I got up.
A tiny nugget is going to bed.
Bye, Naruto.
So yeah, I stayed in bed till like 10 a.m. and then I got up and showered, made myself some food.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
I know. That's
Very
why I'm
true.
like, I'm going to take the time to sleep. Also because she tends to kick me at like 11 p.m. when I want to go to sleep in the first place. So like when I do get my mornings where I'm sleeping in, it's great. Because once I'm asleep, she won't wake me up with her kicks. But if I'm awake when she's kicking, I'm not falling asleep. So that's just how it works right now.
Any other updates or questions?
No.
Cool. Let's talk about shit.
Wait, literally, actually.
We've talked about breastfeeding and eating and stuff.
All of the ins.
We're gonna talk about the dirty outs now.
Started the month with ins, ending the month with outs.
Yep.
The ones and the twos. So,
Well, you have successfully potty trained a child. Do you want to go first?
sure.
Because I am still working on it.
So, I don't want to say fully successfully. I'll
But
say
farther
like,
than I have.
yeah, I'd say like 95%. You're doing great because, like Naruto, Kachan was pretty like ready to potty train when he was 2, and because of a medical condition he has that I won't mention, it's better if he's potty trained earlier rather than later. And it took us a while. confidently say he was probably like 50% potty trained by 3, and now is like 95% potty trained. Because at the beginning they're terrified of, you know, the toilet. Like they're just terrified of it, whether they're ready or they're showing signs or not.
It is a big scary thing, and it makes a lot of noise.
Yep, it is. And Kachan is sensitive to sound.
That'll
So that does
definitely
not help.
no.
No. And he is like terrified of public toilets because of the auto flush. Those, and quite frankly, I am too. I don't like the
fair
sound of the
enough.
auto flush either. And if they have those air dryers in the toilets too.
Yep, the air dryers. I remember like all the times when I'd go to the
Nitro
public
is potty
bathrooms and
trained.
kids would like freak out at the sound.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I don't even like having a fan on in the bathroom, so I get why he's like that. But we started with like pull-ups and stuff.
We have to do pull-ups now because he calls them blue butts and throws a tantrum if he doesn't get a blue butt, and he has to wear a different diaper because his favorite color is blue.
Got it.
So we literally had plans to go to the Children's Museum and had to be, you know, sidestep those because we were out of pull-ups and we only had regular diapers. He was like, no. There was a full-blown tantrum on the floor because I put the wrong diaper on. It wasn't blue. And I'm like, I don't have blue. I can give this one, it's kind of blue.
Yeah.
So we started with that, and then you're supposed to take them anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. Even if you just sit them there. And we get like one of those like things that sits on the toilet so that like, because they got small booties. They can't sit there. And even with the boy, you want them to learn how to sit and go potty before they learn to, you know, aim. Of which Kachan has learned to aim. But he chooses not to. I probably have better aim than Kachan does. But anyway.
Which is so funny because nobody teaches women to aim.
No. So.
It's just easier to sit.
It is. So, and I don't blame any guy who chooses to sit over stand. Like,
could you imagine though if women, like adult
Could
women,
aim.
had to, like if we had to use urinals like men, like how we would have to stand
squat.
and like. It just,
I'm just imagining camping and how easy it would be to
well,
go
you
to
get
the
one
bathroom
of those
now.
shiwis. You get
yeah.
one of those
No, but
shiwis.
without that,
What if you had to take your shiwi with you everywhere, and you're just like at the sink, and everyone's cleaning their shiwi? I'm like, oh, you got the purple one. Sorry, my mind
At
went
that
on a
point-
really bad tangent.
at that point, it wouldn't even just be basic colors anymore. They'd be introducing.
Stylish. What if they're like
They'd have patterned ones.
What if they're like Swarovski crystal ones and Gucci?
Ow! I don't think that would.
But it would be on the outside, not the inside.
Okay.
you paid
I was
extra
just-
for the crystal.
My
Just
first.
get whizzle.
My first thought was like cheetah print, you
I
know?
have to
Like,
buy
I
a
would, like,
special brush to get in between these crystals when I clean them.
oh
It's like a bottle brush, but just for my shiwi.
Oh my god. Or the other alternative that like I thought of is just basically, you know, like a squat over a trough kind of style. That was what I was thinking.
Like at the baseball game or something where they all pee in a trough.
Yeah.
Just
Wait, they
squat
do
over-
that?
Yes, guys at sporting events, most males like they have like this just this trough or something, or they
Ew.
aim at a wall.
There's a lot of places
Lambeau
that have
Field
that,
at
yeah.
Green Bay. Apparently, there's just a trough of like just.
Because it's honestly easier at that point. Like it's
Yeah,
not
fair.
individual.
All they have to do
like
is take like a
things to
power
clean,
washer
yeah.
with soap and just whiz it down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Things I did not know.
Plus,
Things you
also,
probably
too,
didn't
like,
need to know.
the other side of it too probably is just the fact that like it takes up overall less space
Yeah,
than
that's fair.
and you can fit more people in.
Time to get
Like the men can
Crystal
be like
shiwi.
hip to hip, like going, you know.
Michael Kors.
Michael Kors shiwi.
It's Gucci.
Mine's Chanel.
That was a really bad tangent. Anyway, so you
So you buy a shiwi.
You could have a shiwi after all of your favorite like beer or wine brands. The Miller Lite shiwi.
Mine's Apothic. I got the Corcan Bush shiwi.
We're going too far with it.
okay?
Somebody Somebody's got to market this.
Katja. Tell it to start.
AniMoms, Chewy.
When you start.
Taylor Swift, Chewy.
Oh my god! That plays music
on
when
the go. Like those toothbrushes.
It's
like
water
little kid
activated.
toothbrushes.
Color changing.
Oh my god!
It's a mood ring. It tells you the pH of your pee-pee. Oh, I guess I should go see the doctor. My pH is up.
That's like, at that point, that's like pretty litter, but for
I know. But only women.
At that point, men might have to have their own kind of thing made for it.
No, they just put pretty litter in the bottom of the email. We get a whole course Chewy and they just get pretty litter.
My cider's from laughing. But I'm crying.
We are degenerates. They all just came up with $1 billion idea. Yes.
That we'll never use.
No.
One of these days I'm gonna buy a Chewy just to bling it out. Just for you guys.
You can buy like the color changing paints and stuff. And you can paint it.
I can paint it and then put rhinestones on it.
Start selling them on Etsy after that. I don't feel like we're ever gonna get off this subject because we're all dying.
I got it. I can do it. I can do it. Okay, so Kachan, when you first potty train a kid, you're gonna have a crap ton of accidents, like literally a crap ton. And I think the easiest thing to do is not get frustrated. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the hardest thing that we had was him getting frustrated because we would take him, and then he wouldn't go, which is fine.
Yeah.
And he would get off, and a few minutes later, he would wet himself. And I'm like,
were you using underwear at that
so
point?
we started, like, with pull-ups.
Yeah.
And then there's also a lot of people saying, like, you know, just do underwear. Get him used to the feeling that he's, like, wet. That's uncomfortable. Because what the pull-up does is to, like, because of Kachan's condition, it's better that we used pull-ups.
Yeah.
But it wasn't working. So, because they don't want urine and stuff around stuff down there, because he can get really, really sick. And so we had to put him in underwear. Because what happens is when the kid feels like the wetness, it gets uncomfortable. So instead, whereas the pull-up will take that wetness away and they don't feel it.
Have you seen those, like, potty training underwear?
Oh, yeah, he had a couple of them.
Okay.
He had a couple.
I've seen those.
We had
they're
more
like,
success without it.
They were like $30. And that's too much.
No, we had more success without it, like with regular underwear. And we got a bunch because, you know, you can wash them and everything. And he did pretty good. So he started, you know, getting really good about going potty and stuff. The hardest part is number 2, is getting that way.
Yeah.
Just
We've
because
had better success with number 2.
That's good. Hopefully it stays that way.
But
really hope it stays
the
that way.
reason why we're starting so early is because Naruto's doctor actually recommended it because instead of, you know, what you're having issues with, it's the fact that he is aware enough that he gets too busy and wants to hold it in.
Kachans get that way now. We have to still, like, ask him, like, hey, buddy, you haven't gone potty. Kachan go potty. And his teenage angst is like, I don't want to.
His 4-year-old teenage angst.
Oh, yeah, we'll be like, dude, you haven't gone potty in a while. He's like, I don't want to go. I'm like, go potty.
No, he will literally sit down on the ground and try not to poop. Like, really hard try not to. And it looks like he's trying to go, but he's trying not to. So that's why the doctor was recommending, maybe you should try this.
Yeah.
It'll help.
Yeah.
And then the problem was, because he was doing that, he was getting backed up. And then he would get backed up, and all he'd want is milk.
Yeah.
And then he was potentially having a problem with the milk protein at the same time.
Oh,
and then
so
he
more
would forego
constipated or more diarrhea.
more
whichever.
constipated, because lactose is diarrhea.
Ah,
And
yeah,
protein is
Yeah, I remember you
constipation.
talking about that.
Yeah. Sorry. It is a poop episode, so if
We're
that
gonna say
bothers
shit
you.
and crap and poop all the time. And if you're a mom, you will know you're gonna deal with poop all the time.
Yep.
But no, so because of that, they were recommending that, you know, we start potty training and switch him to a different milk. So we switched him to 1, and it made everything smell like burnt rubber, and we're like, this is disgusting. So I called the doctor, and they're like, well, he's otherwise doing great, so it's probably just the new milk. And I'm like, gross. My house smells horrible. Thanks. Because it lingers.
No, Kachan's really good. He can pee pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Angry kitties. But the pooping has been a problem lately.
Mm-hmm.
Now he'll just wait because he's not nighttime or nap time potty trained, and that's totally normal. We're trying to get him out of that because he'll wet the bed, but he's got into the habit of just like holding his poop until he's got a pull-up on, and just poops in his pull-up. Even if we try to, like even today, trying to gain the poop before we put him down for a nap, put him down for a nap after, pooped in his pull-up like 5 minutes in, and we're like, dude, come on. Granted, he can't get out of his room from the inside because the door needs to get fixed. But the next step, which I know I'm dreading, at least I don't know if Tyler is, but is to leave his door able to be opened and stuff at night for him to be able to get up to go to potty by himself.
Can't have a cookie.
Down the street, or down the hallway.
Down the street. He's just going to leave the house, go across the street, and go to use that restaurant.
Down the hallway to go do it himself. The only fear that I have with that is what if he does need to poop in the middle of the night? He's going to have to wake one of us up to help him wipe, because wiping's hard, you know? And so, for the most part, 95%, Kachan is potty trained. As for Deku, he has not even remotely shown signs of, like, wanting to, other than bothering Kachan as he does it. Okay? So, I don't think so, and Deku has a weird obscenity with his penis anyway. Like, just hands down pants the entire time. And that's why he got pink eye 2 weeks ago. So
he got what?
He got pink eye 2 weeks ago.
Oh no, that's right.
Yeah. So he just is like,
he did it to himself.
He's still a boy, and he likes to touch his ding dong and just goes to town on it.
As many boys do.
As many boys do. Kachan, we bit that in the butt really early with Kachan, but not Deku. Deku's just like all fist down in. I finally moved past the fact of when Deku poops that he like totally fist down and like comes out and plays with like Play-Doh. You know? He doesn't do that anymore, thank God. But
no, my kid just asks about it. He's like, my wiener. And I'm like, yeah, that is your wiener, bud.
we
and
call
then
it
he goes,
ding dongs.
And then
apparently
he goes,
that was the term.
Dad's wiener. And I'm like, yep, Dad does have one. And then he goes, Mom's wiener. And I'm like, I don't have a wiener, buddy. Sorry to tell you, but nope. And then he goes, Mom's wiener. And I'm like, I don't have a wiener. My wiener. Yes,
Tyler, I'm
yes,
sorry about this story I'm about to tell. So, Kachan is like, I have a small ding dong. I don't know why that's the term we use in. I've been trying to use penis around him so that it's like accurate enough.
I don't know. I just one day called me.
With
called,
this thing, I want him
Naruto.
to like be able to go to the doctor and be like, "This hurts."
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. Like,
we'll get there. But one day I called Naruto weenie wagon. I don't know why. You say weird things as a parent.
You do.
You do.
And
and
ours
then
are called ding dongs.
And then that stuck. Now it's just a wiener.
So we called ours ding dongs. And Kachan one day, I went to the bathroom, and you have no privacy with your kids when you go to the bathroom. So he
Door is
said,
always open unless there's company
he's like,
over.
Mommy,
Same
where's
with
your,
cats.
where's your ding dong? I'm like, Mommy doesn't have a ding dong, but he's like, oh, is it small? I'm like, no,
It's just not
small.
there.
He's like, Dakota's got a small ding dong.
No, Mom's got
Or
the
Deku's
biggest
got a
ding
small
dong.
ding dong. I'm like, yeah, he does. And he's like, mine's bigger than Deku's. I'm like, yep,
You're
and I can
also-
already see where this is going. Like, let's...
He's also a bigger human.
Right.
He's got
like,
a couple of years of age.
I mean, like, yeah, he's smaller. And he's like, mine's bigger than Deku's. I'm like, yeah, buddy, you're older. And he's like, and I can already see the mind processing of what he's about to say next. He's like, Daddy's got a big ding dong. I'm like, yup. Yep. He's like, it's bigger than mine. Like,
That
Yes.
makes me think of when I was a kid. And my sister and I would play with like Polly Pockets and stuff.
oh yeah.
And you know how Polly Pockets have like those molded fronts that are just like there's nothing.
There's
Yeah.
nothing.
There's nothing there. So we called them butts and front butts on the Polly Pockets because, like,
They still have the, yeah.
I mean, they're still a
Eventually,
crack.
with, like,
They're
So,
still
you
a
know.
crack. I mean, yeah.
eventually with, like, the fact that, you know, the way they were made, it was like a body piece with, like, a little peg and then the legs. And then it was 2 hard pieces of plastic that would hold it all together. So you could, like, move the top body, move the legs and stuff. Eventually, those pieces would fall off. And they'd come apart, and you'd have to glue them back together again. And we'd be like, uh-oh, this one lost their front butt. And then you'd have to find the front butt in the toy box and put it back on there.
Yeah, so,
Front
and
butt.
this is a constant conversation I've had with, you know, Kachan about ding-dongs. I don't know how many times I talk about ding-dongs in a day.
Oh, we talk about butts a lot.
Oh, we talked about ding-dongs.
Oh, no. It's always butts.
So what happens when you learn?
Because Naruto will see a butt and he'll go, haha, butt. And then he'll point at the cat and he'll go, cat boot, butt. Or meow butt.
Meow butt.
Meow butt. Everything's butt.
Ugh.
And then you ask him about his butt, and he'll just turn it and face it at you and do a little hip. And you're like, thanks, bud. Showing me your butt.
I fully expect to talk a lot about butts, considering that my cats do like to put their butts in our faces. So,
We watch a lot of cat videos.
With the booty holes.
That's a favorite. It was just cat videos, like funny cat videos. You know how they always fall on something, and then it's just their butt sticking in the
Yeah.
air, and then it's just, haha, butt.
Yeah. 95% there, I would say. I could confidently probably send him to like preschool or kindergarten, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had an accident at some point and like have to come home, just because it's a different and new place. Just because like
I feel like that's normal for little kids, though.
like they get so like caught up in what they're doing that they forget, and I totally get that. That's
new
totally fine.
situations, new friends, new toys to play with, lots of busyness.
And I don't know if
Hell, I forget
Like-
sometimes, and I'm 30.
yeah, even as an adult, I forget I have to go to
And
the
then you
bathroom.
stand up and you're like, oh,
oh
no.
crap, I need a
I
pee.
mean, the good news is that as an adult, you still are like, oh, I can
can-
hold this, and I
Right.
can make it there. As you know, I'm not gonna like wet myself out
Well,
of
right.
it.
Yeah.
Kachan went from like barely holding it to like every 30 minutes, where that kid could probably do like constantly 3, maybe 4 hours, whereas I can hold for a long time. That's
That
probably
Met
TMI.
has taught me
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way too well.
But I don't know if Deku will be as successful with potty training and stuff, just because he's starting to learn other things right now. And I don't know if he will be potty trained as quickly or as soon as like Kachan was. So
No,
But
we've
I'd
had
still
some
change
great
diapers.
successes
that was good.
this
That's good.
week. We've been kind of on and off doing it, not very committally, because he hasn't really shown as much interest. So it was just like he's got like one of those little potties that
What did
looks
they
like a
say?
toilet.
You should be like 50% trained by 3 or something.
I don't know. But, no, he's got one of those little fake potties that looks like a little toilet, and then you can flush it, and it makes a little flush noise. Yeah, so he's got that. And sometimes he would sit on it when you're in the bathroom, but then you're the only parent home, you're already in the bathroom, and he's, like, sitting on it and flushing it, and you're like, well, I can't help you. You know? But this week, at one point, we were getting him ready to get cleaned up.
Yep.
And he always calls that bubble. Whether you're taking a shower or a bath, it's a bubble. He wants to go bubble. But he told me that he needed a new butt. And I'm like, okay, a new butt. And he's like, and then he goes, no butt. And I'm like, no butt? Well, that's fine. You're going to go bubble. Because, we were about to get him all cleaned up for the night right before bed. And then he goes, no butt. And so then I get him all cleaned up, and he just runs over to his potty, sits down, and like hangs out there for a minute. And I go over there and I hang out with him, and then I'm like, are you ready to go? It's time to bubble, everything's ready. Let's go get you all cleaned up. And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay. He goes, I'm like, sounds good. And so then he's just sitting there. And then before you know it, the world's biggest poop in the potty. And I'm like, oh my God, bud. Like, where did this come from? No wonder why you didn't want to get up. And then he gets all excited about it, and he flushes, and then runs over to the bathroom before I can clean him up. And so then I'm like, okay, I'll just clean him up in there. I put him in there. And he tries to grab his own toilet paper and wipe his own booty. I'm like, good job, dude. So that was
Solid.
that. And then this week we've already had 2 more number 2s in that potty and 2 more number 1s. So 2 pees and 2 more poops.
Enjoy the
Doing
wins.
pretty good.
Enjoy the wins.
But a lot of time you just put him on there and he doesn't do anything.
We had more success with the. So we had a side potty, like what you had. We had more success. More success with the ones that sit on top of the big.
We have those too, but I don't know. The little potty, I don't have to take the baby gate off of the bathroom because we don't have the bathroom like baby proofed yet.
Yep.
So there's just a gate on the door so he can still see you, but he can't get in there and play with anything that's underneath the sink because, you know, you get cleaning chemicals down there and other things and overflow, stuff. So
that is why I really like that water closet that's in my playroom. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, I never realized how much I hated that thing. I hate it because when
potty training.
It's great for potty training because then I don't have to get up or I don't have to haul him all the way upstairs to the big bathroom. He can just now open the door and go in himself. All I have to do is distract Deku so he's not bothering, Kachan as he takes a whiz.
Sorry, there's a cat that's standing on top of the other computer and meowing at the ceiling.
Yep. But I mean, I'm okay with changing diapers. I've become a pro, especially with wipes. Especially if you're low on wipes, I've become the expert of the single and double wipes. If there's even a poo, I could get it down to 2 wipes successfully.
After 2 kids, I can see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an expert.
No, we're just excited because, he's doing so good at it.
Yeah.
But it's something that he seems to be wanting to do now.
Which
and
is
I told
great.
him, once you get a little bit better about this, then we can go look at getting you fun underwear. It's like you can get underwear with Pika on it or Mickey Mouse or Paw Patrol.
Some really cheap ones at the beginning. Super cheap.
I told him he could pick them out.
Go to Goodwill. Not even joking. Go to Goodwill or
come to kid with me.
Yes, they do say that. Yeah, do that.
Kid to kid, I mentioned the other day, I was like, I want you both to come here with me because it's I just think it's fun. But also too, they do have a lot of cheap underpants and things like that too, and all that.
You're not. Some of them when we were potty training Kachan, they were so bad. I was just so. Not to go into too much detail, there's some poos in underwear, as you know from diapers. There's some poos that you can save the underwear. There are others where it's just
no, we're going to start over
not
fresh.
Even worth it. Yeah. Not even worth it. And we have a sink downstairs in the laundry room area that I can use to help get the majority of it out with gloves and stuff, and that's fine.
It's one thing I don't like about this house. I don't have a laundry sink.
I like my laundry
I like the
sink.
laundry room sink.
I don't have a laundry sink either, but I'm also in an apartment. So.
I just use a bucket in the bathtub.
So that's super nice, but I have definitely we got a lot of underwear. We got hand-me-down underwear, which was nice. I never realized how much I liked it because, it had already been worn. There was no attachment to it, especially with potty training.
Yep.
It's undies.
You can just chuck it and go.
You can just chuck it. There was a couple of them where, when he was in the beginning of potty training, where it was very frustrating because I would just sit him on the toilet, and then a few minutes later he would poop his pants. It's very frustrating. But eventually he got it, but there was some where I was it was up his back, down his leg, the whole thing, and I was like, okay. And that's hard with having another kid right there. I'm like, great, okay, I need to wipe you down and stick you in a sink. And literally stuck him in the kitchen sink to get him wiped because I can't go upstairs because Deku's downstairs. Even in the playroom, that kid can get into shit, So I've mastered cleaning with few wipes, washing a kid in a sink, and then if it's not a sentimental piece of clothing underwear or anything like that, chuck the crap out of it because if you can, if
you can't get it clean.
If you really honestly can't get it clean in the laundry, then don't. Especially if it involves poop.
I don't know if anything, motherhood has taught me how to clean stains out of almost anything. Because Naruto had, when he was under a year old, this really cute Christmas onesie. And it was like the Burt's Bees brand, and it was like a red body with red and white striped legs, and he blew out in it before Christmas even happened. And I'm like, I want you to wear these PJs to bed on Christmas or to, bring to Christmas. No, I managed to get the stain out because he always went down the leg, never up his back, just always down the leg, which was the red and white spot. Yep. Nope. I got all the stains out. I didn't think that thing would be salvageable.
Early intervention is key. That is the one thing I've learned. The moment you see something or there's like a piece of clothing that they like, that has a stain on it, immediately take it off and move it. All of like our Packers jerseys and stuff or wild stuff that we wear on the weekends with our kids, my husband came up with the idea, and it was a good idea because I didn't think any of it. We take them off. Like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, their jerseys come off.
I take off shirts when we're eating dinner a lot of times if it's something messy, like mac and cheese. You wouldn't think mac and cheese stains.
If I know it's bath night, I strip them down to their like undies or their diaper. Like, don't even bother. If you know it's bath night, strip them.
No, I am surprised by how much mac and cheese stains. I have lost a shirt to that, like one of his shirts, but still, like,
exactly.
Things you don't think about as an adult.
Well, it also helps me rotate meals. If I know that they're getting a bath and stuff, I give them spaghetti and sauce. I give them oatmeal in the morning. If I know they're getting a bath, I give them all of the, super messy food during the day because they're going to get clean anyway. So that's how I know what schedule it is. Like, they're due for a bath today. They got mac and cheese at lunch. So, don't know what's for dinner. Tyler, what's for dinner? Because I don't know.
I'm probably going to make the dinner that I've been trying to make for the past 3 nights.
What's that?
I don't know, rice bowl type thing.
Oh, I love rice bowls. Yeah, I could eat those every day.
I have no idea what I'm making for dinner.
I just hope
I'll figure something out, I guess.
Ooh, we should tell her about the first poo.
The first poo?
I've heard many things about the very first poos.
It's gross.
Yes.
It stinks.
See, I didn't get to experience as much of those.
It's black.
Because my kiddo was in the NICU.
I took care of a lot of it.
Yeah, and I was like stuck in a bed for like the first 2 days. Because when you have a C-section, you can't get up for a while.
I've been told it's very pasty. And that it's not fun to get off of their butt.
It stinks.
So, yeah.
And it's black.
Well, I mean, realistically, she's sitting in my stomach right now making that first poo.
She is, yeah.
And, I mean, it kind of makes sense, like, when you think about it, that it would be as gross as it is, just because of the fact that it's sitting there fermenting for so long.
Yeah, it's really sticky, black, and gross. And, like, even the first, like, month of poos is kind of gross, just because their stomach is adjusting to, like, milk or formula.
Instead of just being,
like, given nutrients via, and then, honestly, just swallowing their own, pee water, basically.
Honestly, formula poops are worse than booby milk poops, honestly.
That would make a lot of sense, to be honest.
They stink more. They stink a little more.
I don't think you're a mom until you've caught poop in a wipe while doing a diaper change. Have you ever done that? I've done that a couple times.
Yeah, the first month.
My kid was younger.
First month Kachan was born. We were changing him. I think it was like the first week or something.
Yeah. Well, you're still a mom. But I feel like that, even if you haven't done that, you're still a mom. But I feel like it's kind of like a rite of passage.
I've only changed like a handful of diapers before I became a mom, so it was a learning experience for me. Thank gosh. Yeah. Tyler has like 5 younger siblings and took the reins. Well, I thought Kachan was done pooing. No. And it wasn't a solid poo. Ooh. It was like a yellow fountain of poo. Ooh. Thank gosh I covered the diaper before. Yeah. And boys with their wheeze, back to aiming.
Nobody's aiming at a couple months old.
Nobody's aiming at a couple months old, and just make sure you got the diaper ready in case they're going, because it gets cold and their bladder gets small and then they just go.
I've also been hearing lately, and you guys can tell me how well this actually works. I have not.
I didn't know this were a thing until like I don't know, well, after my kiddo was much older, but there's pee-pee teepees, and it's like this little cone that you put over the wee-wee while you're changing their diaper so they can't pee on you.
I think that's so stupid.
I know.
I understand, but it's dumb.
I've been told in some of the baby classes that I've been taking to, prepare myself, because, like, as much as you guys can tell me a lot of things, like, sometimes it's nice
There's
to
a
have
lot
that.
of things you just learn.
Well, you just don't know about, or like, it's different based on the kid, and these people, talk to like 50 million different people about it.
Every experience is going to be different.
But I've learned that one of the things that you should do before even taking their diaper off is take a cold wipe to the lower abdomen, and apparently it's supposed to stimulate them to pee, so then you can kind of get them to pee before you actually take the diaper off. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was one of the things I thought was like
all
super
I know
cool
is
to
that
learn.
having a wipe warmer I loved.
I did, and then eventually I just ADHD quit filling it, and so then that was the end of that.
Yeah. Well,
Wipe warmers are nice for younger kids, but once my kids got older, I was like,
Yeah.
screw it, you're going to have cold wipes on your ding-dongs. Or...
You know, you can always take the wipe and just warm it up in your hands, too.
I've also been heard too that warm wipes in general end up being really nice when you're doing like nighttime diaper changes and everything like that, because then you're not waking them up as much. Because like I'd be startled if somebody came at me with a cold wipe in the middle of the night. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
So it's just that. But since learning about like the cold thing, like I might actually try it,
because I didn't try it.
I mean, the one nice thing is she's a girl, so I mean, she can't
true.
aim up as easily. It's just gonna be out more.
I'm sure she will surprise
You're
you.
gonna have
we'll have nice angles. I'm sure
you'll have a far different experience than we will, because we can basically wipe everywhere to a certain extent. You have to like specifically wipe.
Front to back.
Front to back.
I still make sure that it's always front to back, because even though we've got a wiener in our household, I don't know. I don't trust it.
I still do it for the most part, unless it gets in like, like
the little crevices.
The crevices around their legs, around their...
Oh, I always take a clean wipe and do front to back after the whole diaper change before we put a new booty
I get
on.
between... all the folds and stuff, and just,
I just can't imagine giving a baby girl vaginitis, so like that's all I think about.
They're probably going to give themselves it.
Yeah,
regardless,
true.
I mean, diapers, the nature of a diaper is kind of grody.
Yeah, it is.
That's actually like a cool point, because there's so many different types of diapers out there. What diapers did you guys like best?
So I tried a bunch. And we ended up sticking with the Target Up and Up brand, because my kiddo has sensitive skin, and it's the only one that wouldn't give him contact rashes that I have found. I mean, there were a couple others, but like the Costco brand one, but I don't have a Costco membership, and it's half an hour away, whereas Target is just in town.
So the hospital supplied both Pampers and Huggies. We learned early that Kachan can't do Pampers. So we did Huggies for a really long time. We then went to Target. We had Costco too. He can do both of those. We didn't try Pampers with Deku, because we knew Kachan was not good with it. Also, Loves they can do, but you'll also learn which brands suck. Loves is not a brand I would go back to. It just didn't. They don't have big absorption, and they fall off kind of easily.
Yeah,
too.
well, I just know like one of the ones that people have been talking about a lot, or at least there's a lot of ads out for, is the Honest diaper brand.
Oh, I haven't tried those because they're more expensive.
They are definitely expensive. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I noticed is too, even like with like the newborn ones, they have like a lot of print on them, and I'm like, your baby doesn't know
it's going to
that
shit
it's shark
in it.
prints.
Like,
I'm
why
sorry.
does it matter?
Now, my kiddo knows now, but I mean...
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But like as a newborn, like I don't care that if my diapers are printed then.
It's more for you than for the kid.
Yeah.
Deku doesn't care because he doesn't know, but Kachan has pull-ups that are... Whoa! I was just trying to move these. Kachan has Spider-Man pull-ups, and... and he specifically pulls out all the blue ones and the red ones, because they're only blue and red, but he will use all the blue ones or all the red ones before he touches the next one. I was like, if you're not my kid, I don't know who you are.
No, we have to have the blue pull-ups, which is the Target brand pull-ups. And then at the same time...
Do you go through the rocket ship ones or the dinosaur ones
The dinosaur
first?
ones first. It's always the roar dinosaur. I always give him the option, but it's always the dinosaur. He points out all the dinosaurs.
Until a toddler's yelling at you that you picked the wrong one.
I mean, like, we had a full-blown tantrum this past week because I was out of pull-ups, so we had to go get the blue butts. It's what he calls them, his blue butts.
I mean, I am hoping to do primarily like cloth diapering.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I know we've talked about it before, and I actually own a pair, or like a couple pairs already. But the brand that I'm looking to probably buy some more of anyway, the cool thing is that you should be able to use them based on where the snaps are from like pretty much newborn to like even like over a year at the very least.
No, you're fine. I'm just being awkward.
I think even potentially longer. Like they're supposed to fit you for like a really
good
long time, which is one would be super nice. But ultimately too, like I know sometimes shit doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
But what I've been learning about cloth diapering too is just the fact that like obviously like disposable diapers can be expensive long term, even though they're cheaper to start off with. But then with disposables, you end up having to have like diaper creams for like your rashes, and you end up doing more of that. Like with the cloth, you don't get diaper rashes at all.
That's another thing for the
You probably
diaper
still
rash.
might.
They say that you should.
There's a less chance, but
yeah.
you still might.
For the diaper rash, I have tried other brands of cream, but the only one that doesn't make anything worse is Desitin.
Yep, that's the one I use.
Because like we tried like a store brand version of Desitin, like the diaper rash got real bad. It never once got worse.
So fast too.
Yeah.
It's like crazy how fast this works. Because
forgot the
I don't know
ruffles.
how it'll be for girls, but boys, at least in my case, always got it around their butthole or in these creases right there where their package is, because the package rubs like on their legs and everything. And they got it there. And then, I hope this is not TMI, both my kids are circumcised.
I think that's an important
ruffles.
Oh, lovely.
I think that's an important conversation to have anyway.
Right.
Like
Kachan was a medical thing we had to do. And we just did it with Deku too.
That way they don't, compare.
Exactly.
Because kids will do that. Whether you tell them not to or not, they're going to compare. Kids are already comparing.
Yeah, they already are. Not to go TMI, but Deku's is not as good as Kachan's is. So I have a lot of diaper rash that gets right there on it. So I always have to be good about like rub diaper rash. And I think that's where boys usually get it, is like on those creases in the buddy.
Oh, it's between the booty cheeks.
The booty cheeks, yeah.
The booty cheeks.
I get it like right on the hole and then the creases, and then Deku gets it right on the end, which I'm sure hurts.
Imagine for girls, it's probably very much so like leg to vulva kind of.
Yeah, I would think so.
I have no idea, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, that's what would make the most sense to me, because I mean, at least between the vulvas not meant to rub together that way, but like
that's what baby powder's for.
Yeah.
At least for adults.
Apparently also
hey, no shame here. I use baby powder.
I know a lot of people that do. But like they apparently also too, like with cloth diapering, you should not need to use baby powder either.
I never had to with my kids.
No, but I mean we both have boys, so it's a very different situation.
Desitin was great and it solved the problem, so we didn't really have to.
Yeah.
And I forgot that baby powder existed, I'll be honest.
I used more baby powder in my Kachan's 4 years of life than he ever has. So, helps with chafing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't know. There was just like several things that when I was like reading about like cloth diapering that I was like, I'm down to try this out and see what
I'd be really curious about your journey with that, because I've never like even considered wanting to try it, so I'd be really curious how it goes.
But when I wanted to try it, we lived in an apartment where doing a load of laundry was a floor away and $3. And so you'd have to pack the kid up into the stroller, pull with all your laundry and all your supplies, go all the way down there, load your laundry, you know, pay for it, come back later, switch it over, and then come back even later.
Right.
You know, it just was
That's
like...
the other thing. A lot of things are a convenience sort of thing.
Well, and I mean,
and you have a washer and dryer in your unit.
It's a washer dryer dual unit in there.
That's good.
I mean, it doesn't dry very well, but we tend to hang dry most everything.
But
anyway.
yeah, at least you can wash it, if nothing else.
Yeah, and I mean, the one thing that we have to be aware of is like if we have something that's like really cat hair filled, you don't really want to put it in like the washer and dryer that we have, because of course like dryers usually take a lot of that hair away, but of course because it's not like a true dryer, it doesn't really do that very well. So as a result, like we tend to, like cat hair can build up. You have to like clean it out of the washer space anyway.
Gotcha.
So there's some downsides to those kind of units, but ultimately it's in my apartment.
You don't have to
you don't have to go
I don't
anywhere.
have to, no.
Yeah.
The one nice thing I will say with my apartment building that I live in right now is that they, like last year or a year and a half ago, updated their washer dryer, so now that there's like an electronic pay function, so then, which means it all connects to an app anyway, so then you can see when there's units open or not.
That's nice.
The only problem is there are people in my building who will like leave their stuff sitting in a unit for hours at a time. Like there was literally one day where I kid you not, I ended up going into there and I moved somebody's stuff because I had been trying to get into one of the washer or dryers, I can't even remember which, for like 2 hours, and their clothes were still sitting in there. And I was like, I'm moving your stuff out. Like if you're gonna leave it sit there in this community thing in a building, it's gonna go. It's gonna be moved. Yep. Sorry. If you're missing something afterwards, not my fault.
That's what I did when I lived in Fargo. I had one of those where I had to go downstairs and do it, which was fine. But I got to the point where I was tired of waiting like that. And I just went to a laundry day or a laundromat that was down the street. And I just sat there for the day. I just had a day. I brought my laptop, did my stuff, and just did that.
We fully plan when we ultimately go and wash all of the clothes for little Sylvian before she's born. We're probably just going to either go to like my grandparents, my mom's, or like to a laundromat and just do everything in like kind of like one load and get it done, basically.
The
Drift.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I was also reading about not that long ago, and there's actually some people who've said that they can't do drift with their baby. It actually irritates their skin.
I always say try first.
I never had that issue, but I swear by the drift stain remover. So I've gotten so many things out of my clothes, out of his clothes, out of his dad's clothes, that it's insane. Like, I was wearing a white shirt to work, and I got blackberry on my white shirt. I put some drift stain remover on it when I got home, because, like, I still had to finish out my work day.
Yeah.
So I put that on there. When I got home, chucked it in the washer, washed it like normal, pulled it out to put it in the dryer. Nothing. You can't even tell blackberry was even on there, and it was a dried stain.
What I'm currently right now, what Zach and I use for our own clothes, because I wanted to try and I like being eco-friendly as much as I can. Plus, also ultimately, it ends up being cheaper. But we use the Sheets laundry detergent, like actual like Sheets. They're like the and they make a free and clear version. Which, when I was looking things up, apparently that is one of the ones that dermatologists will recommend for babies. So I actually have switched it, because we were previously just getting like the fresh scented ones. I'm switching it so that like I'll have the free and clear ones all the time.
Nice.
And we'll just use it for our clothes too. So that's ultimately what our plan is right now. But, you know, I'm down to try, you know, draft and all that stuff too. I know that there's a lot of things that
you could eventually switch your kids to whatever you're doing too, which is what we did, because it's just cheaper versus buying two different detergents too.
Well, and that's why I figured us switching to the free and clear would end up, you know, not being like a problem at all.
Well, both me and Tyler are allergic to Tide, so we gotta.
Well,
Tide free and clear was apparently another popular one by dermatologists, but
I don't know. We use Gain at our house. So
Gain
far, it's
too.
the only one that I found
Gain or
that doesn't
Purex,
make.
Purex too.
See, I don't know. Gain is the only one that for some reason doesn't make either of my boys break out.
That's good.
Because they both have sensitive skin.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I do too, but for, like, usually my face.
Oh, yeah. Welcome.
Like, yeah. Rosacea problems.
Rosacea issues.
But,
I did not put makeup on today. It's so bad.
It's okay. But, no, for my house, apparently, all we can use is I'm probably saying it wrong, the Suavitel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that, like, softener.
I
And
think
then
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
you're saying it correctly, actually.
I don't know. But that's what we use. Anytime I try to change it, like, I tried to go to the all-natural stuff. No. By the time it was, like, a month later, everybody had, like, back breakouts from sleeping on it and their clothes. And I'm like, okay, nope, we're going back. Anybody want this?
I just am
makes me sad
ultimately...
'cause I like those smells. I like them better.
I just am ultimately trying to get away from having like liquid detergents and things like that. And part of that has to do with the fact that like one, liquid is heavy, so therefore shipping costs go up. And a lot of liquid containers are weirdly shaped, so that also makes shipping costs go up too. And, it's just like a whole thing. So like I was like, I can have literally like this little box for detergent sheets, and it'll last me like a couple months now.
Good.
And I just get this one little box for
Nitro.
all the time. So ultimately, it ends up being cheaper. We also stopped using things like softeners and all that.
Oh, we don't use softeners either.
No, I use softener.
We
But
don't
that's
use
usually-
softener.
no.
We
Yeah,
don't
don't
use
use
dryer
softener.
sheet. I mean, we can't use dryer sheets
We
with
have
that kind
roll
of
balls.
thing.
Yeah, I have those too.
Balls. We don't use softeners. Turns out it can like really screw up your washing machine if you use softeners.
Yeah, I've also
Again.
just been reading in general. All it's really doing is putting a waxy film on your
Exactly.
clothes.
Another reason why we don't use it
So,
anymore. Same with
ultimately,
like the
your
little like
clothes don't-
pod things or whatever. The little like
Oh, I hate the
Boostas.
pods.
Yeah, we
I've
don't
had
use
too
those.
many of those that burst open on like a pair of jeans
Mm-hmm.
and then like never got fully washed away. And then you just have this residue on your pant leg, and you're like, I really wanted to wear those jeans today, and now I
that's
can't.
One of the things that I think is super funny, I have to say this about work in general, because working in vet med, we have a lot of laundry. Well, not that, like, like 2 years ago maybe, or something like that, they came in and they were like, or they stopped allowing us to purchase like liquid laundry
I
detergent.
remember that.
Because they were like, oh, well, it's gunking up our machines. And I'm like, so
How
how
would
are
you,
the
like-
pods not doing that?
You know what's gunking up your machines?
The amount
All
of
the
hair.
The amount of hair.
That's what's happening. Yep.
Honestly, that's one of the things like a lot of people are like kind of annoyed with, because we have basically like they're high efficiency washers and dryers,
Yeah.
which is great. But there's a lot of like people who are like, why don't we have like more like commercial style?
Get those
Washer
giant
and
like
dryers.
industrial washers.
Yeah, I'm thinking honestly,
probably
what it probably
could
comes down to
invest-
is space.
You could probably invest in those and save yourself so much money by investing those than the amount of times we had to call people out to fix them.
Well, I mean, that's
1
kind
year
of
of maintenance would probably pay for the washer, industrial size
Even in the
washer
new
and
clinic,
dryer.
we had to call
Oh,
them
God.
still so many times.
I just wonder if it has to do with sizing and the space.
Fair.
The ultimate space that we have, because like obviously like some of those kind of units get really big, because they're meant to be.
I do
used
tend
for
to be
bigger
a
things,
shover.
but, yeah,
and shove as much as I can in when I know you're not supposed to do that. But
they say like 3/4 full should be your max generally. I will say in my washer dryer combo, if you want it to dry more effectively, half full is probably about where you want it to be. You don't want it really to be much more than
But then
that.
you use more water.
Yes. So like that's why I also don't care if I have to let my stuff hang dry, because it will still do it fairly effectively anyway. It's just a matter of like, they say that 3/4 full is what will allow it to actually get soap in between all the clothes and stuff like that too. So, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I weirdly know a lot about this.
About washers and dryers.
Yes.
Try coming from a family whose family business is
Yeah.
laundry.
I know you know more than I will probably
Oh,
ever know
who
about
knows?
it.
I don't know
So.
if I could say that, but
At the very least, you know probably way more than I do about dry cleaning. I have no idea how dry cleaning actually works, to be honest.
I honestly don't even know. I just grew up playing in there.
Oh.
I would make like crafts out of the supplies, like little strings and the things that go over hangers and hangers. Yeah, that was my childhood.
Yeah, I just
Making crafts with all of their work supplies.
I don't even know what they do for dry cleaning. Like you'll get things that like say dry cleaning only, and I'm like, okay, but like, how does one actually dry clean?
I only like.
These are good questions,
for
but I should ask my mom.
Tyler's nicer, like, button-ups. You do the delicate on the slow, and you don't dry it.
Yeah.
And let it hang.
I've actually learned over
and my pulse, I do that too.
Yeah, I learned when I was younger that ultimately, like, you should not ever dry your jeans because it can shrink them.
I dry my jeans.
I dry them too. It's a test to see how well I'm doing on my workout journey.
Nice.
Well, that's ultimately what it comes down to is that it does shrink them. Like for your ultimate like life cycle of your jeans, that you should be hang drying them all the time.
Oh yeah, because it
Aren't
also
you not
weakens
supposed
the
to wash
fibers.
them very often either?
Yeah.
There's honestly a lot of clothes that they actually suggest that you don't wash all the time.
I
think
wash
it's-
my bras very often.
I think it
Bras
comes
are one
down
of
to like the life cycle of the fibers.
Yeah.
A lot of the time too.
I try to reduce like my comfy hoodies.
Yes,
Unless
because
I,
they
like-
shrink too.
Oh no, and like the inside, like this
They
one's
get all-
relatively new. It's still kind of like
Yeah,
a,
it doesn't
it
stop.
doesn't ball up the little bits in, and then it's uncomfy. My Bakugo one, not the newest Bakugo one, but the other one. Poor guy. It's got the little balls on the inside.
My favorite Bakugo hoodie used to be too big. Like, Nick bought it multiple sizes too big for me, just so that I could have a nice comfy one. Now it fits like it perfectly would.
I always get XL stuff. Sometimes
It was
double
two
XL.
sizes too big. But now it fits like, if I bought it directly for the right size for me.
I have a couple sweatshirts that are 3XL just because I like how they like. I'm a taller person. I'm a bustier person in general, so like having bigger sweatshirts is always nice to begin
I
with.
like wearing my husband's hoodies
Yeah,
and
but
his shirts.
like the 3XL,
That
like,
option
even my arms
doesn't work
will go
for
out.
me.
No,
Even though Nick is a taller person, he's also a beanpole.
he's skinnier than I am.
So, like, any extra length you'd get from wearing his sweatshirt is eaten up by the fact that I am not a beanpole.
I can definitely wear my husband's sweatshirts,
I can.
things like that.
I didn't buy any pregnancy stuff. I just wore Tyler's shirts.
I have bought several pregnancy things, but like all of them that I've really bought are things that I think I'll be able to also still wear really well afterwards too. So
I think that was nice. I didn't have to. I had to buy like pregnancy like jeggings for work when I worked at PetSmart still. So I had to wear those. And then I think I just got a bigger size shirt for that. But I think the only other thing that I got was like some hoodies that I did. But other than that, I just wore leggings the entire time. I just wore sweatpants and pajamas. And then when I got bigger, I would steal like shirts and hoodies from Tyler.
I wore a lot of dresses because I thought that waistbands were the devil.
I always have thought that waistbands are the devil.
No, but it gets a lot worse.
Like I just
Especially in the middle of summer when your kid is due in September and it's hot out and you're like,
Oh my god.
I'm just wearing a
I've
dress.
had both. I've had like the summer thing and I've had the winter thing.
And then you have a C-section and it hits right where your like underwear sit and you're like, no waistbands, please.
No. I never really got big with either of my pregnancies. I got bigger with Dakota. I never looked like really pregnant until the end.
I don't remember, honestly.
I
don't think I got too big.
You did not.
No.
He was also a pretty tiny kid, so.
Yeah, you did not.
I've gotten big.
You did not get as big as you probably
But your
could
kid
have.
is also measuring rather large.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, it was kind of funny when I was at work yesterday. One of the front desk associates came in and saw me, and she's like, I mean this in the nicest way possible, but you're looking huge. And I was like, yep. Yeah.
I'm feeling it. Yeah.
I'm feeling it. I do feel huge. Thank you. So,
Jeez.
like, she's pushing. She's there.
Yep, she there. She there.
think her head's over
Definitely
here
a
right
baby.
now. I think her head's over here right now. So, because that's the tightest spot on my tummy.
Yeah, that's her head. Right here.
Yeah.
Right there. Right there.
There's a baby head. I felt her. She pushed at me. She went.
She's like, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like,
Sorry
in
to be
all
invasive
reality,
and touch you.
like, you know, she's. Oh,
Hold on.
Yeah, she's really like out there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There's a baby.
There's a baby.
You know, I used to always joke that it's hard to see my toes because of my boobs, but now it's my belly. So
It's both.
it's both, really, yeah. And the boobs are only supposed to get bigger, so
Yeah, you're welcome.
yeah,
Just wait. They're gonna get smaller after.
They will.
yeah.
Sorry to say.
Pancake out.
You know, listen,
Even if you don't fully breastfeed.
Mine are pancakes.
I want mine to do that. Though. I want
Yes.
mine to be smaller.
Fair,
I've
fair.
literally talked
But
to
it's not
like
like
so many
it's-
people about how like I want smaller breasts.
Mm.
There was a video I watched not that long ago of this woman who had like B-cup boobs and then like got like like the silicone inserts to get to
No.
like triple D and then was like, I want to be bigger. So then they put more inserts behind the inserts. Like this woman had like, what was it? I think they said that like the 800 cc's of like
Oh my
saline is the
God.
largest size that they make, and she essentially had an 800 plus like a 600 or something like that.
Why?
Like she had a ton, and they were like, she
Okay,
was like,
no.
my back hurts, and I'm like,
No
yeah,
shit.
I just thought of the back problems on that one.
you're so front heavy, like
You're
I
constantly
just,
compensating.
mine are like down here that they covered my one tattoo. I just take this and go up.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy.
Yeah,
Just
like-
a little lift,
just
not
like
insertion or
a
making bigger.
facelift?
Just like a facelift.
but
See, and
Yeah.
that's always kind of what I said too, is like I knew that once I was done having kids, what I would ultimately end up doing at that point is I will get myself set up for a breast reduction and lift, because I knew at that point I would need even more of a lift. When your boobs are really, really big, they don't tend to just go out. They tend to go
No,
down.
yeah.
Gravity
After
works.
There's a
breastfeeding, even
lot
if
of
you have
weight.
small boobs, they will pancake out and go down.
it's
Yeah.
like they deflate.
Yeah. So I mean, when you ever use you know if you ever see
Story of my
things in
life.
porn, you know, if you ever see things in porn and you're looking at big titties that go straight
They're
out,
fake.
no, they're not real. They're not real.
Or
honey.
they've never
This
had
conversation
kids.
took a weird turn.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
Well, I
then
know it
again,
was
we
important.
started the episode with
So-
With
Shiwi's,
shitting.
so.
Yeah.
but next week, speaking of which,
We're going back to AniMoms.
Mm-hmm.
we are.
Next week is going to be the first anime episode since February.
Do we want to switch? I think it would be good if we do 1 week of anime and 1 week of mom, and just
Instead of
go-
Animonth and
instead of
Month
full
of
moms,
Mom.
do it back and forth.
Oh, okay.
I think doing both would be a good change up for like us overall.
I think it would also be interesting if we at one point talked about what's going on in Alabama right now. And I'll tell you guys more about that right now or a little later. But like, yeah,
I don't get
there's
to watch the news. I'm working
I
or
don't
sleeping.
either.
Yeah, so I mean, to put it very, very basically, essentially, the Alabama Supreme Court ruled in a case that embryos that were frozen in storage are children. So, and it's messing with IVF in the state of Alabama. So, like, I think it'd be really cool to have a conversation on that at some point.
Sure.
Because I think we could all kind of, you guys could weigh in on your thoughts about it in general for children and body and all that. And
I
can
feel like we all have
weigh
a
in
very
really.
similar conversation.
I think
on
we
that.
all
yeah.
have a very similar opinion on that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
But I can weigh on that super heavily being an IVF mom. So,
Why don't we do this? Next week will be anime. And then the following week we'll talk about IVF since we know nothing about it. Why don't
beyond what you guys watch?
beyond what we've watched you deal with? I think it'd be good to talk about that.
They both got to experience me stabbing myself
We did.
with a lot of meds. So
I think that'd be good. So next week is anime. I do have a suggestion. Overrated versus underrated animes.
yeah.
I feel like that would be good. We each come up with our like. I won't come up with a huge list like I did with the Substance stuff or the Simpsons stuff. of like ones we think that are overrated and why, and ones that we think that are underrated and why.
Mm-hmm.
I like this plan.
Yeah.
So, anime next week, IVF mommies the following week.
Speaking of anime, is it supposed to be upside down
Yes,
printing?
it is.
Okay.
I don't know why.
It's been
because
bothering me.
It's the same down here. I don't know.
Okay.
I got it from Walmart. I'm assuming it's because that's why. And like Walmart just got a bunch of misprints. But yes, it's supposed to look like that.
Okay.
I don't know why they put the backwards one on top though, and the correct one on the bottom.
It's a great question.
I don't know. But
Somebody thought it might look cool, I guess.
I will say this will be on one of my lists though. Already telling you. So next week at 2.
Don't forget, guys, we do have a suggestion box. If you have any
use
suggestions,
please.
let us know if you have your own stories, if you have your own recommendations, what have you. Send it our way.
Yeah.
I do have another idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think in one of the next anime ones, not this next one, we should do our first reaction video.
Yeah.
I think it would be good. Good change of pace to do not this one, not next one, but the one after that. Pick an anime, like the first episode or whatever, or even the first 2. None of us have watched, and do a reaction video.
I don't think we can stream the show itself, but we can stream our reactions to watching it.
You can, because you can set up a watch party.
Oh.
So I can show you how to
Okay,
do
you
that.
teach us how to do that. But we will let you go at that point. And
Oh God, I've seen AOT.
Yeah,
no,
I
thank
think
you.
we've all seen
We've
that.
all seen it. Unfortunately, it's not going to be an option. We'll probably pick maybe something like that's like pops up in the new releases on Crunchyroll or something.
So long as it's not an isekai.
Yeah, no isekais. No.
I know there is one isekai in the list already. But
I
yeah,
know.
we can find something
That
else.
market's just been
It's
saturated.
Yes.
It's the same thing. It's
Overdone.
the same exact thing.
I'm just bored with that.
But yes, please, if you're watching, anyone or have friends, have them recommend an anime that we all haven't seen. We have 3 weeks to figure it out. You know, and by that
Don't
time,
forget.
Has to be on Crunchyroll though, because that is what we have access to.
Also, we have an email. You can email us
Please.
things.
Yes, please. We would love to. I know there's not many of you, but please. Anyway,
Even if you're watching post,
yes.
it won't be until third week of March. Third week of March. Third Sunday in March. Because we're doing. That'll be our reaction.
The first Sunday of March.
Next week is the first Sunday of
March
March.
10th.
Yes.
No, I
No.
lied. March 17th.
Yes. Send us your suggestions by then. But send us
St.
anything.
Patty's weekend.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, we can all wear green.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm like 1% Irish. I can do it.
I'm not.
I have no idea. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Peace.
Bye.